Goes.
Furia, number one.
Ciao.
Number one.
Life in Italy, right? Hey, what's up? I'm Rafael di Furia, aka Rafi D is me, and I am back at it again on another beautiful Friday night. And this week, we are at an Italian county fair. You guys can probably see it behind me. I'm on the main piazza here in Rovigo, the town where I live, and it is so packed. This fair is kind of like a cross between a kind of county fair and an expo. A family member was telling me that they heard that this market is actually like 130 years old, because what originally they used to do here was they used to come and sell animals, cows, horses, chickens, stuff like that. But I'm not 1000% sure of how old this market is, but I thought it was really interesting just because county fair, like what's going on? And there's a lot of stores here. It's packed. I've never seen this town so full of people before. You can find all kinds of different things right now. I would say not so much food, but thought we'd just come and check it out together. But before we get too much deeper into this market and this fair, this expo, be sure to subscribe with that notification bell turned on. And if you could also give this video a like, I'd really appreciate it. It does help the channel.
Perché è un prodotto eccezionale.
Okay, let me finish
si
this in
chiama,
a second.
ragazzi, il tappeto magico. È un tappeto veramente eccezionale.
Well, in the middle of just saying that, if you would like to help make more videos like this possible on a monthly basis, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon to help make videos like this possible. Or if you want to help out just once, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/support. But anyway, yeah, let's get into this. So that guy that's over there, there's a bunch of people here that are like that. There's a lot of like kind of almost Chinese feeling products that are here, and there's some really good stuff too. Like there are some good finds. Let's get into this. It's like, why am I showing you just a regular store behind me? Let's go into the exciting stuff. Got a bit of everything here. For those of you who've seen my Instagram, this is a place where I have photographed a number of times, and it's usually quite a bit emptier than this, and that's one of the reasons why I've liked living here, why I did come to this place, was to be in a place that was not so busy. But it is fun to have that little bit of something extra just every once in a while. I mean, you go around, you have little food stands with all different kinds of like yummy delicious foods with like grilled veggies and like piadine, the flatbreads, and sandwiches and chips and different like pieces of chicken that are fried up and grilled up, and it's a fun experience to go try these different things. And so I wanted to share a little bit of this with you guys. I've been having fun here. This market started yesterday on a Saturday. It's both Friday and Sunday at the same time. We'll just go with that one. But here's the main street here, and this market is gonna go until Tuesday. We got some more usual things, some more kind of fun things. Very festive, very lively. And this is also interesting to me because every Tuesday they do have a market here, just full of stuff to begin with. Like this, nothing to this extent, nothing to this scale. I've seen this event written with two names, Fiera Rovigo and Expo Rovigo. To me it makes sense that it could be a fiera, if it translates to the same word as like county fair or like provincial fair, because Rovigo, the town that I live in, it's not just a city, but it's also this province for this area. This is the main like capital city of this area. Like when I used to live in Merano, it was in the province of Bolzano. But Bolzano also happens to be a city, and you can get like all just random things, vacuum cleaners and different things for the kitchen, mandolins, things to squeeze stuff. You can find all these different things, sweaters, a lot of fake brands, a lot of real brands mixed in.
Parliamo che con un'unica macchina facciamo dal partito il soffritto al taglio senza nessun impegno. Premiata l'anno scorso qui a Rovigo la patate, zucchine, carote. Fa solo questo, fa le fettine.
One of those little things that does everything. The last kitchen tool you'll ever need, of
Ma
course.
addirittura il battuto, il soffritto, le patatine a sticcate ogni tanto questo tipo.
Just the sheer amount of stock and stuff that they have, it's amazing. Just completely packed to the brim, full of people and food and items and cheeses. Fresh breads. These have olives in them. These have hazelnuts and raisins. And then here, polenta from a machine. You can get it with gorgonzola or with mushrooms in it, and just get a fresh little plate just to walk around with or stand there. And then a lot of cheap clothing, like everything here is 10 euros. There's a lot of these stores that just have like a whole bunch of random different things and everything is the same price. A lot of jewelry, and then of course you have to have candy and nuts everywhere. Everywhere you go is one of these guys with their magic product that will just change the world. But of course, the candy. Gotta check out the candy. Down here you've got torrone. All different colored marshmallows of different shapes and sizes. Marzipan in the shapes of fruit down there. And gummy candies just all laid out for everybody. Here's more of those marshmallows. And these types of markets, I feel, are not too unusual. It does share some similarities with the weekly Tuesday market that they have here, but there are some things here at this market that you don't really see at the other markets that they have in this town. These are super traditional, like Puglia style crackers and stuff. Giant loaves of bread. Oh, and these are some of my favorite things down here. It sounds disgusting, but these grilled and then pickled onions are so good. I've had them, I've got them before from a different market that was here a couple months ago. But it didn't feel like quite as impressive, and there wasn't like as much stuff. But there was still a lot. And actually, this isn't just the only place. Like, Rovigo to begin with is a pretty small town. But this market, this fair, this expo, whatever you want to call it, takes up the whole center of the city. It's just everything, everywhere, everybody. It's just the whole city is completely packed. I think this is a funny sign here. Potresti immaginare un mondo senza patata. Can you imagine a world without potatoes? And it's just French fries. That's all that they've got here. Just French fries on French fries on French fries on French fries. There's a lot of the same types of food here, like that, like big pieces of pork, those big pig carcasses that they just slice off. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. People from all over the country just gathering here. Maybe been to the Expo Milan, like when they do their like Christmas market. It's kind of like that, but on a much smaller scale, and it doesn't have like, I was there years ago and they had like products from all over the world, people from all over the place. This isn't so much like that. It's a lot of Italian products or products saying that they are Italian. Even some top hats. Now that's funny. Well, I don't think I'm going to be purchasing anything today. I've already done a little bit of shopping. I actually got this hat yesterday. It's wool felt, 100% wool. And I got it for 19 euro. Used to work at a hat store, and like, I have an idea of hats, and like this one is actually like a decent quality. And a lot of things here are just not good quality. They're just subpar, in my opinion. But if you look hard and you know what you're looking for and you know how to look out for these things, then you will find a lot of really good deals here for very cheap. Because I used to sell hats exactly like this one for, say, 100 to 500. Yes, this is selling hats was a past job. Video was my main job, but there was a brief period where hats were totally a thing. But there's a stand-up here, just at this next piazza, that I think is really, it's kind of both cute and funny, because they have some products there that I've never quite seen before, and there's one product in particular that I think is hilarious because it's just so Italian. All right, so we're just getting here. Let's see. So in Italy, puffy jackets, as soon as it gets to be a little bit cool, totally becomes a thing. You may even see people in this video that are wearing these puffy jackets. Who knows, there could be people behind me right now wearing puffy jackets. But, of course, if you're a lover of animals and you've got your own pets, of course you have to take very good care of them. And, of course, puffy doggy jackets, puppy jackets. All different animal costumes and leashes and even cashmere puppy sweaters. But also, just one thing that I do want to show you guys, if you ever happen to come to Rovigo and you're staying here, there's this one place that has really great food that you can get up and eat at home. I do come here from time to time, I will admit that. It's called Fratelli Piva. It's this place here. It's on the Piazza Garibaldi, and I really have to recommend them. The owners are very nice, very friendly people. If you go in there and you see Coretta or Stefano, be sure to tell them that Rafael di Furia says hi. And because of course it's Italy and it's getting to be that time of year, it's chestnut season. If I could only share this smell with you, like smell-o-vision, if that were a thing, it would totally just, it's got that kind of like fireplace kind of smell, just that, something that feels really, just autumny, wintry, so just gives you that warm fuzzy feeling inside, not just the warm fuzzy feeling around you.
Diciamo del forno per far sì che passa il cattivo odore, no? Quando lo passi sul piano potenziale 10, c'è una promozione, questa era per 10 e 15, però e l'altro 9. E questo
I don't know why, but I think these guys are absolutely hilarious. I think like it's bringing those infomercials into the real world, not just stuck in your TV anymore. And this is generally a very quiet street in this town, and there's just packed with people, just packed. And this is probably the quietest street that I've seen here today, is the main street, especially up towards kind of the beginning, towards in the direction of the train station, more that kind of, if you look on a map and you see the two towers here in Rovigo, that piazza here, Piazza Due Torri, I think, whatever, wherever the two towers are, and it's just packed with people. It's like, it's worse than being at like a theme park, because people are just like all right next to, packed in with each other. And this isn't the only part, like I was saying. There's, this whole center is covered, but what I didn't mention before is that there is also a carnival just on the edge of town. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it there in this video, but it's like a traveling carnival that goes around the country, and I think it's going to be here maybe a couple days longer than this festival, but I'm not totally sure. By the time this video comes out, both of them will already have finished and be done, but this happens every year here in Rovigo. It's a tradition, like I was saying, going back way more than 100 years. €3, €10, leather gloves and purses, and some more of these magic products that you just can't live without. And there's one thing that I want to show you guys up here, just to kind of give you a feel of what's also happening, because they have these giant places where they just have it set up just for people to eat, like almost a whole full piazza just of tables, and a lot of food. There's two other piazzas that have this type of food. I just happen to be close to one, but I'll show you the other piazzas in a second, just so you can get a feel for more of the different places that you can go if you were to ever come here, or just experience, because this type of thing exists in other parts of Italy. You can go to these kinds of markets sometimes on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, 2 times a year basis, 1 time a year basis. Oh, this one I think is cool, because usually the old school way is that you'd have to have someone there, but these have motors just built in. Tattoo shop with a lion. Now that's something you don't see every day. Interesting. But anyway, here's the piazza. This is actually just part of the piazza. It's not completely full, but grilling up these big pieces of meat and all of these different yummy foods. Just busy. People lining up. There was one line that I saw last night that was just, it was going all the way out here. I haven't had too much of this kind of stuff, like porchetta sandwiches. It's just not a flavor that I enjoy so much. But I did have like a sausage sandwich from one of these places, and it was so good, and it was cheap too. Just a big piece of pork, giant salamis, and these little sandwiches. And something that I've noticed a lot of American friends of mine find funny is that you can just go to these types of events and you don't have to go to a special bar area or like area where you're gonna get carded for buying a beer like that. And at these types of places, they just sell beer. And it's so rare that people even get carded. It's just, nobody really cares like that. I mean, yes, there is an official drinking age, which is 18 here. And I think it's like, it's not necessarily a horrible thing to demystify it, and it kind of takes it away from being this like thing, this unobtainable thing that by the time you can finally have it, it's just so exciting and you just go crazy. And the alcohol and drinking culture in this country, just in general, is completely different. And even a lot of people, depending on where you are, and it depends on the person, there are people who do go out binge drinking. But very often, I've noticed, especially when I go out, people don't drink to get drunk, they just drink to enjoy the evening. You often can go to like a piazza, like the main piazza here in the Rovigo, and you just see people sitting out on a nice warm evening, or even a evening that's a little bit cool. The kids will be playing on the piazza, the parents will be just sitting down having a nice little drink, just hanging out and keeping an eye on the kids. And it's more just because apartments in general are so small here, people use outdoor spaces and public spaces as like a living room rather than going to people's houses. That does happen, but I've seen more that people will go out to meet with their friends rather than, hey, come on over, let's do something at my place. More often it seems as though, okay, let's go and meet at such and such place. This is one of my favorite things, chocolate salami. It has nothing to do with actual salami. I'm gonna go around the crowds just so I can kind of walk quickly because it is so packed. But chocolate salami is just, it's fudgy, it's way more dense than a brownie, but it's a similar kind of idea, and it has these like chopped up, crushed up vanilla cookies that they put inside, and so it kind of looks like the fat that you see in like a regular salami, but oh, that's dangerously good. But there is something else that is way more dangerously delicious that I think I will try here and show you guys tonight. At least I'll show you guys, because it is so out of this world. It's fried dough donut. It's not like a Dunkin' Donuts kind of thing. They fry the dough and then they just put it into cinnamon sugar or just sugar, and it comes out just crystallized and delicious. And sometimes they put like fillings like white chocolate cream or like custard cream or Nutella or chocolate custard. They put all different kinds of delicious things, or sometimes you can get these little fried things that are the same thing and they just drizzle the sauce on top, or sometimes with jelly. It depends on what you want. There's a bunch of different places that do it. This market doesn't have a ton of food, which I was kind of a little disappointed about, but they definitely have enough of something. But there are some lines which are so big, it just kind of almost makes you think, is it really worth it? Are those calories really worth it? And with how delicious some of these things are, I'd have to definitely say yes. These streets are so packed, they're usually so easy to get around. It takes like 2 seconds to get from one place to the next, but because there's so many people here, it's just impossible to walk around anything. It's almost ridiculous to try to get around this town now, because this tiny little town has just been taken over. In general, I think it's like 40-ish thousand people that live here, but you never see all 40,000 people all out at one time. So for sure, these are people that are also from the province and potentially other places that aren't too far away, because in terms of getting around, we're not far from other places like Padua or Bologna. These places are not all that far away, so it is quite realistic and not that expensive to get here, especially if you're going by train. Padua, I think, is like 5.5 euros, and to get to Bologna is like 8.5 euros, 7.5 euros, something like this. But a lot of people are driving here, but what I've heard a lot of locals saying is that because of how impossible it is to park and drive, they really end up hating this market because it just completely takes over the town, makes it impossible to go anywhere or do anything. I mean, normally you can just walk across this piazza. If you look at my Instagram, like I was mentioning, you can see what this place normally looks like. Normally you can just have a straight shot across, and it would really take just seconds to get across this piazza rather than like waiting behind people trying to get through. It's crazy. And of course, more of the deliciousness, the sweet stuff. I don't generally eat this kind of stuff. I'm more a chocolate kind of guy myself. But if I do see a cannolo, which is one thing that I really, really love. Because at these types of markets, you'll be more likely to find Sicilian products, cannoli, and arancini. Actually, I know exactly where there's one place I'll show you guys. They have all those delicious Sicilian things. I have to say though, when you find it at this type of place, it's never as good as when you actually are in Sicily. So if you're in the north, think about it like this. If you're going to a place, try the local foods. And some of these foods aren't local. Even though it is something from the country, it's not one of those regional dishes. Like I was saying, very often the people that are selling these things are from other parts of the country. But it's just a different thing. It's like going to a carnival and buying carnival candy, carnival food. It's not quite the same. Yes, it's delicious nonetheless, but the quality may be a little different, or just it may not quite taste like what you're looking for, or there may be those carnival flavors that you are actually looking for, and that's what you enjoy. But at this type of market, it can be a bit of a different story. I've had good experiences and bad experiences. Usually cannoli at these types of markets, it's really a hit and miss, and you can usually tell by looking at it if you know what you're looking for. Ma devo mangiare un cannolo. Devo mangiare adesso. Ciao. Di dove? Dove? Questo video sul YouTube.
YouTube dove?
Canale, il mio nome è Rafael di Furia.
Ciao Rafael, number one, Rafael di Furia, sei la destra, sei un grande. Grande!
Grazie.
Rafael di Furia, numero uno, meglio della Ferrari. Grande blogger, grande, number one. Numero uno. Vai Rafa, scusate la fatica. Grazie Rafa.
Questo nome su YouTube.
Grande.
Questo venerdì. Venerdì.
Adesso noi
pubblicizza i norcini per strada.
Sì.
noi ci abbiamo fatto la pubblicità. Adesso ci vuoi pagare o no?
No,
Non ci paghi.
non paga niente.
Sta scherzando. C'ha 90 anni, purtroppo non connette più. Guarda, i norcini per strada. Rafael di Furia, number one.
Ciao.
Number one, vai.
I hope that was... Cosa?
È un bel chicchirichi.
Cosa? No, non capisco.
Chicchirichi.
Kikiriki. Life in Italy, right? I feel like when you go out and you put yourself out there and you're just kind of doing these things, you're just bound to just experience it, especially if you go. This is what I love about going to non-touristy places, is that you experience what things are actually like here. Okay, fine, that's not like such a normal thing, but you experience the place, the people, and of course they're not locals, but you experience what real life is like here. You don't experience like Venice, just that caricature of what people think that life in Italy is supposed to be like. Yes, it's a wonderful place, but unless you get out to the real Italy, then you don't see those little moments. Like there's a place here. It's a little trattoria, and it's just this tiny little hole-in-the-wall place, and it's owned by this little old guy, but the guy who owns it is also the waiter, who's also the cook, who's also the maitre d', who's also just every little thing that happens in that place. It's that guy. And it's just like a very like Italian, just kind of old school experience, seeing just this little old guy doing this little Italian thing.
Perché dice perché non le hai presi?
Fresh fruits and vegetables. There was actually one place I saw that had these already like pre-baked, like these sweet potatoes. And I was actually recently talking to this older Italian gentleman, very sweet guy. And he was like, you know, American potatoes. I was like, what do you mean American potatoes? It's like, you know, American potatoes. It's like, French fries? He's like, no. And he went in the back of the store. He's like, I've never seen one of these American potatoes before. And then he brought it out. He was like, oh, a sweet potato. he's like, yeah, I never saw one of these before. Like, I didn't quite understand, but it must have been like already an adult or like a teenager by the time he had first finally seen like a sweet potato. I thought that was funny. Maybe I didn't understand perfectly, but I guess it's not such a thing that was like really from here. I mean, just there's those things that you grow up with that, like, you don't think about these things that are normal for you. And kind of what I was talking about in my last video about there's those assumptions that you make that certain things are just the same everywhere you go, but definitely that's not the case. And even when it comes to the small things like just a sweet potato. Although it was a little different than the type of sweet potatoes that I'm used to seeing. It was white. Some of the local police, this is what an Italian police car looks like, and local police officers. As far as I understand, the uniforms that they were actually designed by Prada or Gucci? I can't remember who it was. I think it was Prada. It was one of these Italian designers, and so Italian police officers are some of the best dressed, I would say, in the world. Not some of the best dressed. Just in general, Italians are very well dressed. Ooh, okay, so this place definitely has some of these yummy, delicious things that I was telling you guys about before. Cannoli with pistachio, chocolate, dried fruits. Instead of ricotta, they also have like with whipped cream on the inside, fried cannoli with whipped cream, and these little fried desserts. Grazie. Buona serata. Ciao. Okay, so this is not like a normal type canola. This is like deep fried in like the same stuff as like these donuts here, but then they just fill it with cream. I saw these last night. I really wanted to try one, and yeah, definitely going in for that first bite already right now. Dangerously delicious. I don't know if you guys can quite see that, but there's cream on the inside, a little on the top, and it's just a fried donut all around. All right. I didn't want to eat that whole thing on camera because it is so messy. I feel like my face is just sticky. But the next thing I want to show you guys is another one of these piazzas where they have just food, and full of tables, because it is quite the thing. I mean, this is Italy. Food is very important, clearly. Huge part of the culture, huge part of just life here in general. Not just to eat food, but to enjoy the food and to enjoy a good quality meal. It's just that value, that just intrinsic cultural value that it holds here. It's just so ingrained into the people. Just, it doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. Everywhere, food is the most important thing, and it tells so much about the place and about the people. It tells that story about who they are, what they've been through. A lot of the times the most popular dishes were influenced by what those people were experiencing. Like a lot of the foods that came from these struggle situations because they didn't have money to afford the nicer cuts of meat, or because they didn't have the money to afford meat, period. Out of that comes a lot of really delicious dishes. And here is actually some of those dishes, like we've been seeing around, like those little sandwiches. But here they also have speck from Alto Adige. I'm curious to see that. Like some of the meats that just are a different cut than what you might normally think of. But it's fun at these markets, even if it's not the best food, it's not the best quality food that you might find in other places. It's still this experience of just festivity, being out, having some fun. Old Sicily and new food. This is a very Sicilian thing with this like meat. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's actually lung, and like it's a very common Sicilian thing. Not something I could quite eat myself, but intestines never really appealed to me. But look at all of these different desserts. Some of these are fried pizzas and rice balls, and even like mozzarella and bread, and all of these other different types of Sicilian cookies that are really, really dangerously good. I'm not going to get one of those cannoli tonight, but definitely there's a very good chance that that could happen tomorrow. But now I'm just going to bring you guys to this one last piazza where it happens to be just filled with food. This other piazza here where it's just all food, candy and food, and a lot of it's the same kind of food. It's not necessarily such different things that you won't find at each place, but this one, this is more of like a Abruzzese kind of thing, typically from the region of Abruzzo. At this market, I haven't seen too much variation at the type of food. The last market that they had here had a lot of international type foods. There was this one Brazilian place, there was a Mexican place which was Tex-Mex, but definitely to get an idea of these different types of things, these are like very common to find all across Italy, especially like a cutlet sandwich like this. Sometimes it's chicken, sometimes it's pork. These are the piadina, the flat sandwiches that they fold over and then they grill it, toast it, have all these different types of meats and the grilled veggies and onions, and just they keep going and going and going and going. This has been going, I think, since the morning, and it's going to go for another couple days. It's already been, this is the second day, the end of the second day, and also the end of this video. So thank you for joining me on another beautiful Friday night. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and had fun. If you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know down in the comment section below. Or if there's anything in particular that you guys are interested in seeing, be sure to let me know, because maybe that could be possible, especially if it's in my area, then the likelihood is much higher. I'm thinking at some time I do need to go to Ferrara because I haven't been there yet, and I know there's been a couple of you in the comments that have mentioned, and also private messages that have said that you guys are interested in seeing Ferrara. So at some point that is definitely happening. It is definitely on my list. But of course, if you'd like to see more content like this about moving to Italy, Italian dual citizenship, and living life abroad, please be sure to subscribe with that notification bell turned on. And if you could also give this video a like, that would really help out the channel, and share this with your friends too. That would also help. If you would like to help make videos like this possible on a monthly basis, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon, or just to help out one time, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/support. And for shirts, baby onesies, mugs, and more with Italy-centric designs like That's It, I'm Moving to Italy, pizza, pasta, and amore, and different flavors gelato, all on one shirt, or a onesie, or whatever it may be, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/NYAG gear. Don't forget, Christmas is coming up soon, and it's never too early to get that gift for your loved one and to help make more videos like this possible. So thank you, all of you who really have been helping to make these videos possible. And of course, as always, I'm Rafael Di Furia, aka Rafi D, and thank you for joining me on another beautiful Friday night that is also at the same time a Sunday night. And I look forward to seeing you all next Friday. Have a great one. Later.